Hey, it's Joy. I've got big feelings about little things, and I want to talk about it. Oh yeah, I'm mad about it. And the fact that everyone else is not up in arms about it is a big part of the problem. Oh, I bawled my eyes out, like I always do. It was the sweetest thing. Oh, it was the cutest thing. It was the funniest thing. Thanks for being here. Let's go. Hey, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad to be here with you. I had a kind of awkward interaction the other day. I at the time, I actually didn't even realize it was awkward. But this friend of mine, he asked me, hey, who cuts your hair? And you know me, I can't just say, oh, Bob over at so-and-so salon. I was like, oh, it's right over here by blah, 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 blah. This guy, well, his name's Joseph, but I like to call him Joseph. When I very first met him, for some reason, I thought you would pronounce his name Joseph. I think because he puts an F at the end of it. There's an F at the end of it instead of a PH. And I was like, oh, Joseph. Joseph sounds like the guy that's doing famous people's hair. He sounds like he just got off a plane from Hollywood to come do my hair. And so I would call him that. And then I would go into my appointment and be like, oh, hey, I'm Joy. I have a 6 o'clock with Joseph. And they'd look at me and say, with Joseph? I'm like, sure. Sorry, that's just how I pronounce it. Not because of the language I speak or where I'm from. Just that's my personal accent that I've chosen. That's the way I've chosen to pronounce his name, Joseph. It sounds like I just want to be in a sitcom where I'm, going to work and then I got to pop in the salon, see Joseph, and he's going to give me a blowout, and then we're going to go, it's not that fancy, but I'm trying to make it that fancy. People say Target instead of Target. It's just exactly like that. But so I told him, and he didn't respond. He didn't say anything back. And at the time, it didn't really bug me that bad, but a few days later, I thought, I didn't get any follow-up from that question and answer. We could have gone one way of, oh, because it looks great. I want to have a couple people in my pocket, just to know who's good at cutting hair. Or, oh, my girlfriend loves your hair. She mentioned it last time and I wanted to see who cut it so we could, she could go see him or whatever. Or it could have gone the opposite way. Okay, I'm just going to make a note so I don't accidentally make an appointment with Joseph or whoever this dude is, because you look crazy right now and I'm not interested in that. So not getting either, that was a third option I didn't really process through very much. And so I'm still sitting here thinking, okay, well, maybe he's just curious. He is in that industry. Maybe he just kind of wants to know where people go and what people do. But I'm also very nervous that every time he looks at me, he's like, that busted haircut. Okay, Joseph. So it gave me anxiety. But I think the reason it popped back up in my mind was a very similar thing happened yesterday. This girlfriend of mine goes, are your eyebrows tattooed on? And I said, no, I got a microblading a few years ago, but the girl was very new and she went way too deep. So there's a lot left over. Or because I don't still see anybody with microblading left over, but mine still is a little bit, which no way it was supposed to last that long. But it's not much, and it's not enough that I still have to do my eyebrows. So I said, I went through all that, and then I said, no, I use a very thin pen, and I draw them in. And her response was, okay. And especially in light of the hair conversation, I was like, girl, you cannot leave me hanging like that. Like, do they look bad? Because that could have been the same thing. Oh, they look great. Send me a link to that pen. I love it. Or you look like a child drew those on and you need to stop. So it kind of was about to send me down a little spiral. And she's like, oh, no, they look good. I like them or something like that, which obviously when I press her on it, she's not going to say They look bad. And so it didn't really give me a lot of confidence. But then I really did start going down a spiral because there has been a low level, I would say, a low level anxiety around my eyebrows for a couple of months maybe. And it was low, it was stirring. I'm kind of trying to keep an eye out for what people are doing and what is the trend right now, what's going on, because, well, listen, I'm just going to get into the list. I mean, this is my podcast, whatever. I'm just going to tell you, we're just going to go down the eyebrow list. For me to change what I'm doing from this to a different like style, a different plan, a different shape, a different tool, a different pen, whatever, or to go fully natural, that nothing would happen tomorrow, right? I can't go from this to something brand new the next day. I mean, this has been an almost lifelong not conversation, but it's been an ongoing process since I was 15 years old and read an article in, what would that have been? Cosmo, maybe? Glamour? That taught me, it's like draw a line from your nose to your eyebrow arch, from your nose to the inside of your eyebrow, the nose to the, and it would teach you how to like make the arch and where to pluck and where to leave and where to brush up. And that transitioned into, I know y'all remember the thin eyebrows of the 90s. Tiny. But even that I didn't go in one day and get them all waxed off. I plucked them a little bit thinner. And I was like, oh, that looks great. You know, it would be even better. Even thinner. Let's do another layer and another layer and another layer. Because that's what the trend was. But you and I know it took years to undo that damage. Years. And I don't even know that it's all undone. You know, I still think, I wonder what they would look like if I'd never been through that fad. And I'm kind of, I'm so jealous of the girls that are young right now that are good, that went through that during their formative years. It was great to have all the eyebrows you could. So you didn't have to ruin them by plucking them all off. I mean, this was back in the day when I knew some women who everything was drawing them in and all we had was those old pencils. You know, we've come a long way with the options today, but that's all we had. And so I thought that's what I'm headed for if I can't grow these eyebrows back out. So I'm just worried because it's going to take me some time to get to whatever the next incarnation is going to be. But also, should I already be there? Like, has the new thing already come and I'm still stuck in yesterday? You know, did I already miss it? Or if I don't pay very good attention, am I going to miss it? When I walk out of this studio door, is it going to be a few friends and family just being like, hey, we rented a room here just to have an eyebrow intervention with you. You know, it's time to deal with it. Now, I do have one friend that I really don't think she would let me just fall completely off the cliff. I think she would kindly be like, okay, hey girl, it's time. But it's very hard to follow her because she's on top of everything and I can't keep up with that. You know, I have to be like kind of in the area for the time that I'm going to be there. So I have a lot of eyebrow anxiety and a lot of it's in the future. That's not even what this started as. So you actually just got to hear me in real time go from a low simmer of anxiety to letting it all out. Sorry to the 2 straight men that listen to this podcast. I do apologize. But all of that to say, make sure if you're asking a question that could have a little bit of, it could have a compliment wrapped up in it. It could have some judgment wrapped up in it. It could have some questionable responses. Just follow up. Oh, hey, I'm just doing some research for whatever. Oh, hey, I asked everybody this. I'm just looking for a new thing to do with my eyebrows. I asked everybody. That's why I'm asking. That's why I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Because look how it spiraled me. And that turned me into a person that's doing half of a podcast about eyebrows. I did recently try a new eyebrow, not a tool, but a pen. It was one that has those 4, I see an Instagram ad for it all the time, or something similar. It has 4, I don't even know what you call them, little things to make little 4 individual eyelashes, and you can do it 4 times as fast instead of 1 at a time. And I was really bummed. I didn't like it like I wanted to. I can't get the liquid to come out at the right spacing. It's either drowning and there's like a big dot of it, or there's nothing there. Like those old ink pens. So I that didn't quite vibe with me like I wanted it to. Now, that wasn't so hard because a lot of things are hit or miss for me, but I tend to be a person that doesn't necessarily love the thing that everybody just loves and like, they just can't stop talking about. Like the Instapot. Do you remember that? That was maybe 2 years ago, Christmas, all the rage. Everybody's with the Instapot. Everything's so fast. Everything's so great. I love this from Healing. Have you got an Instapot yet? I need an Instapot recipe, please. For me, absolutely horrendous. It was horrendous. The food tasted horrible. I guess it was faster. I don't know. It didn't even really seem like it. And I'll never know because it just ended up tasting horrible. So like, what do I care how fast it was? And even after I tried that and was not impressed, everybody else just loved it so much. It made me feel like I'm crazy. It made me feel like I'm really missing something. I must be missing something. Or why don't I like this thing that everybody not likes, loves, and it's changing their life? And I'm trying to get rid of mine on Facebook Marketplace. And trust me, that lady that met me at the TJ Maxx parking lot, she was thrilled to get my Instapot for $40 or whatever I gave it to her for. She was thrilled. And I was excited for her. But I was also over here, I don't get it. I just don't get it. My best friend, I keep complimenting her hair, and she's like, "Oh, I got this new hot tool, Mom. A hot tool is like a curling iron or something, or like a flat iron, but it's just anything like that. We just call them all tools now. That specific one that she's using, that she loves, that her hair curls great and stays all day, and blah 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 blah. I bought that last year." And I had it and I tried it and hated it. Hated everything about it. It didn't work well on my hair. It definitely didn't stay. And I returned it. But now I'm watching her have excellent success with it. And guess what? It's toward the end of the year. So what do you think my Instagram ads are for? That exact thing. And it's on sale. So now that's getting into my head. Did I make a mistake? Did I not give it enough time? What if it's like the eyebrow thing and I'm trying to make it work in one day and I need to practice a little bit with it? It's on sale. Should I try it again? Or am I going to do the same exact thing and return the same tool and have to tell myself, you remembered you didn't like this. Just accept that you didn't like it. It's okay. Not everybody likes it. And the other people that don't like it are not getting on Instagram to talk about, getting on Facebook to talk about how they hate the Instapot. No, they just hate it and move on. They sell it at the TJ Maxx as well and move on with their life. You're only hearing, you're in an echo chamber of people that love this styling tool, love this thing, love that thing. And it's not me, but it makes me feel like I really am missing something. Or maybe I don't have, maybe I'm not as bright as them. Maybe I don't get it, you know? Which is so stupid. Just look for a different tool, Joy. Just get an air fryer, which I did and love. Okay? No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let it be. I talked myself out of that. That's something you'll never hear again. I talked myself out of buying something, and I appreciate you being here for it. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Little Things, Big Feelings with Joy Delaney. I'm James, the producer, editor, director, and executive producer. Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Honestly, forget TikTok. I don't even know how to use it anyway.
You don't know how to use it anyway.
James?
Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram and Facebook. See you next week.